So welcome in, guys. Welcome to the official AMA between Virtual and NFT11. So as you guys have seen our announcement in the past week, we are partnering with NFT11 to not only just increase our audience, exchange investors, members, but also to do something together in regards of the sports, football, and every aspect of those. Yeah, Jeremy, if you can do a brief introduction and tell people about yourself, team, and NFT11.
Yeah, sure. Be very happy to. First of all, thanks for having us here. I think I've got Chance joining me. Chance, are you in the house?
Hey guys,
Okay, great.
can you
So
hear
yeah,
me loud and clear?
yeah. I think I can hear you. So yeah, let me just introduce myself. Hi everyone, I'm Jeremy from the NFT11 team. I'm joined here by my teammate Chance. He'll introduce himself later. Let me just mention and thank you all for attending this AMA. Very happy to see all of you here. NFT11 is super excited about working with Virtual because there's some amazing things that we have in store, and I think our projects just gel so well together. One's a football manager, football metaverse, and here you have exercise and earn, trying to incorporate football as well. So I think it's a perfect opportunity for us to get together and work together. I'll give you a brief introduction of NFT11. So NFT11 is a immersive football management game where we have traditional elements of the football management game, but on top of that, we also have elements of strategy, some elements of RPG as well, because players are ultimately entering the metaverse to become managers. And they will be responsible for buying, trading, loaning players, owning their own team, and defining their strategy to play in tournaments and to win tournaments, of course. So yeah, that's NFT11 in a nutshell. I'll pass it over to Chance now.
Hello. So, am I supposed to introduce myself?
Yeah, you can go
Yeah.
ahead.
Huh? All right. So, hi guys. So, thanks for having us again. So, I'm Chance, the CMO of NFT11. So, yeah, I started into crypto, or at least, yeah, I started into crypto mainly through NFT. Actually, started from last year February during the total hype of NFTs and GameFi. And yeah, lo and behold, after a couple of months, actually close to a year now, building NFT11, our own very own GameFi project. Really, really very excited to share more about NFT11 to you guys. Yep.
Thank you, Chance. So yeah, the next phase, I think we can jump right into it, which is like the main Q&As that we can do a bit more for the community to understand what NFT11 is. I think we can start by uh, telling about NFT11 theme, gameplay, the development of the game itself, what you guys are doing, and everything.
Cool. So I think Jeremy kind of mentioned a little bit about the gameplay of NFT11. It's a football simulator with a hybrid of interactivity into it. So I'm pretty sure most of us at least understand the concept of football manager, our championship manager. You kind of manage a team, and then you put your team into a league, and then you compete for the grand prize, or you compete for the cup. So how we are also integrating a interactive element into the game itself. We don't want it to be just you just stare at your screen and watch the gameplay. So we wanted to add a form of interactivity. So in our gameplay, you can expect to while you're watching your match halfway, there'll be trigger events that will happen. And when this trigger event happens, it's really about the manager being able to make real-time decisions of the match itself. So that's how we want to integrate both the simulation part of football games and the interactive part of football games into one game, which is NFT11. So we believe that that's a very unique point of NFT11. We don't see much game out there that, I mean, comparing to traditional football games or football games on the blockchain, we don't see this kind of integration in terms of the hybrid model. So I think that's very, very interesting for NFT11. On top of that, the concept is relatively straightforward. You own players. You need players to form a club, right? So every player that you own will be an NFT, and then you form. They come in different. There are a lot of different kinds of players. One player itself has about 10 stats, and it does not stop there. Our players also come with personality and traits. They come with their own growth chart, etc. And on top of that, our players, we have three different kinds or classes of players. We have our legends player, we have our normal players, and we have our ultimate player. I won't get into the details of what exactly these are, but legends player are limited in supply. I think we will talk about that a little bit later. Normal players are unlimited in supply. They will always be available. However, the way to get normal players will not be from the team itself. The team, NFT11 team will not release normal players for people to buy. Instead, normal players can only be scouted. So maybe we will talk a little bit about the scouting mechanics behind later a bit. And lastly, we have our ultimate players, which are based on real life player. So our first ultimate player is actually David James. He's a very renowned goalkeeper in England. So he's our first ultimate player that's been involved in NFT11 metaverse. So that is the player side of it, and then we have our stadium. Our stadium is integral. Our stadium is used for scouting of players, which I mentioned earlier. People can own part of a stadium by owning a seat in the stadium, and we have 6 different kinds of tiers for the seats, and each of them has their own perk to it. So the game is relatively straightforward. You form your team, you participate in tournaments. If you win, you get reward, and then if you win, your players also increase in stats because they kind of level up, or because they are trained. So your NFTs, your players will grow as you continue playing the game, and you could decide to, you even have like trading marketplaces setting up. Like you can trade your players out. So if you train your player to a particular stage, and you feel like you want to trade him, or someone offer you a good price for your player, then you can trade them. Just like a real life football, real life football, that's also trading of players, etc., etc. So the concept of NFT level is relatively straightforward. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. You mentioned like the football players. Like, I definitely think our members here have seen some, but can you let us know who is the major players that you guys are partnered with right now?
We have our first one, which is David James. How we are looking at getting our ultimate, or at least real life endorsement, it's a very strategic move. We do not just go out and get as many players into the ecosystem as. We are not looking at just placeholder, or we're not looking at just a face. We are looking at onboarding real life players that actually bring in more than just their face into the game. Like for example, David James. Why we brought David James in, or why we decided as David James to be our first ultimate, is mainly because of 2 things. One thing is because, 3 things. One thing is because, first thing is a very, very nice person, really, really, really nice person to talk to. The second thing is he himself also has managed a football team itself. So that itself gives him a very interesting insight into the managerial part of NFT11. So he will provide us with very insightful knowledge on that. And lastly, David James himself is also quite an avid gamer, and which is why we felt like David James is a very strategic player that we have gotten into NFT11 metaverse. As for other players that we are planning to get in, we are not in the position to release any names yet, but definitely we are reaching out to more players.
Sure, Chance. Regarding like the gameplay itself, do you have like a specific dates roadmap for it? Like, when will there be updates on that?
Maybe Jeremy, you can answer that.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. We actually leaked a couple of shots of our gameplay already. So if you guys go to our Medium and check out our newsletters, we do weekly newsletters with the community because we believe in the Web3 culture being all about community, and it's really important to stay in communication and, you know, update everybody on the project's progress. I think last week's newsletter, we actually dropped a major update with lots of leaks. So you will be able to see our first gameplay, first stage of our demo gameplay coming out towards the end of July. And we will be releasing, there are a total of 3 stages. We'll be releasing those 3 stages consecutively. This entire game demo will give you a very good feel of the game itself, what it's about, the kind of mechanics involved in the game. And yeah, I think people are going to have quite a bit of fun playing this game demo. The full game, of course, is in major development. If you take a look at our leaks, you know, it is a big game. Not yet Unreal Engine 5, but you know, we are thinking about that direction as well. We are in this for the long haul. So yeah, I think that's what you can expect in terms of gameplay in the imminent future, in the near future.
Jumping onto the tokenomics itself, I mean, that's also the crucial part. I think we probably know NFT11 has already been launched. Can you explain maybe on how the tokenomics has been set up?
Yeah, sure. I think I can take you through that. So we are live now on ApeSwap. That's our official partner for our decentralized exchange. So if you wanna buy some NFT11 tokens, you can head down to ApeSwap. We also have a jungle farm with them, so you can check that out as well. In terms of tokenomics and how we have arranged it, all the details can be found on our white paper. We are very transparent about our tokenomics. We have listed out all our developer wallets, 9 different, or I can't remember how many, but many different wallets there for the community to keep track of the progress of the project. And if you dive into the tokenomics and our release schedule, we are using a single token, because we kind of realized that the dual system token still needs a lot of fine tuning. There are lots of games out there that have capitalized on this dual token system in the hype of the GameFi market, and it's really attractive at the start, but in terms of long-term sustainability, it's a big problem, stabilizing or at least, adding value and utility to 2 separate tokens. And a lot of times the farming token just becomes the token you dump. And we can all see the value of these kinds of secondary tokens, the value of it decreasing very, very quickly. So what we have envisioned is it's also quite a unique opportunity for us, because it's a football manager game. We are arranged by division, seasons, and so we have set aside rewards for each year to trickle down, and so we can input this maximum amount of reward to each of these divisions and seasons. Custom tournaments, can have a prize pool of people putting their tokens into this prize pool, to increase its value. So it's quite dynamic. In fact, yesterday when we were doing our AMA with you guys over on our side, right? I remember Virtual said that they limit, was it 55,000 tokens a day or something like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure on the numbers, but around that.
Right, yeah. So, you guys are we are quite in sync in terms of making sure that the rewards are set out and they trickle down in a more sustainable fashion for the long run. So that's a little bit of our tokenomics. In terms of what we're gonna use the NFT11 token for, aside from game rewards and things like that, there's going to be governance. Our DAO dashboard is set to be released somewhere around pretty soon, actually, either by the end of this week or next week. So governance is going to be up. People are going to be able to vote. if they hold NFT11 tokens. And of course, NFT11, the main our marketplace, trading of players, loaning of players, purchasing of players, all that kind of stuff is all going to be with the NFT11 tokens. So yeah, I think for now we're sticking with a single token system. We're exploring secondary in-game currency. We are looking at the possibility of how we can integrate that half on the blockchain, half off. Many different ideas going around, but we're still exploring those avenues. And I think we are on the right track, and our focus is on long-term sustainability when we look at tokenomics. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy. I should have asked this before, like the very first question, but the GameFi trend definitely has been a bit down due to the market conditions and everything. So people really need that small assurance from seeing who our partners is or who's the project's backers. Can you explain to the you guys are already approved by Singapore governments, and if there are any other bigger partners backers behind the project that can give investors and all the interested players assurance in investing in this project?
Yeah. Chance, I'll take this one. Okay, then you can take the next one.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about partners. Partners are super important, and I think it's the bread and butter for all projects, which is why we're here, and we're excited about this partnership with Virtual as well. We have many different partners, for many different things, down to even our NFTs, partners like Altura that focus on smart NFTs, technology behind the NFTs. We want to capitalize and learn from all our partners. You can check out all our partners on our website, right? There's a nice little page there that you can see all of them. And we have been actively making partnerships, on a weekly basis. I think, as you mentioned, one of the most important things is to show that we are legitimate, and because unfortunately in this space and the crypto space, not just the GameFi space, there are lots of rug pulls, scams, people just looking to make that quick buck. Even if the project seems legit, sometimes they do what we call a slow rug, right, where the project kind of just dies off, after the team has made whatever money they want, and then they disappear into the shadows. So none of us are going to disappear because all of us are doxxed. So yeah, all of you can check out our faces on our white paper. We are all based in Singapore. Singapore has very strict laws about things like this, so we ain't messing around. That's for sure. And on top of that, we are registered under Startup SG. So Startup SG is an accelerator incubator directly backed by the Singapore government. The grants that we are allowed to that we have are a one-to-one investment scheme where any accredited investor under Startup SG, if that investor decides to invest in NFT11, the government will essentially match funds 1-for-1 and invest alongside them in NFT11. So that way there's due diligence done by both parties, and it's to get registered under Startup SG, we have to go through a lot of processes as well. And so I think our credibility and legitimacy speaks for itself. And we're here to build something beautiful and to bring the most beautiful sport to the blockchain.
Thank you, Jeremy. Amazing.
Welcome.
Yep. There was one interesting questions. Let me check here. I think it's from the community as well. But before we go on to that, can you maybe update us about the cards? I think from the community also, that's one of the most interesting aspect of the game that they are interested about the move cards and all the cards details.
Cool, very interesting that you brought this up, because I'm right at the moment I am actually doing up all the move cards. So
Yeah.
I'm like having this AMA and doing this move cards at the same time. But yeah, yeah, okay. So yeah, the move cards is also a very unique point of NFT11. So we have move cards. So far we have about 120 move cards that can be attached to players or managers. All right. So there are three different categories of move cards. There is your attacking move cards, there is your utility move cards, and there is your defensive move cards. All right. One player can attach up to three move cards. One manager can also attach up to three move cards. All right. So it really depends on the play style of the manager himself. You know, whether do they want to put what kind of move cards to which player. As I said, there's attacking move cards that are focused more on the attacking events, like for example, a direct shot or direct free kick or corner kick. You know, these are all very attacking based move cards that will only boost that player during the match. All right, and during the match, you know, earlier I mentioned that there was going to be trigger events that will happen, and when these trigger events happen, you the move cards that you attach to your players will be one of the choices that you can choose during the trigger event. All right, so speaking of that, you know, there is, you know, I said there is three categories of move cards: there's attack, defense, and utility. On top of that, move cards can be used in different manners. You know, there are active move cards and there's a passive move cards. Right. So active move cards are cards that, as I mentioned earlier, that you can use when the game is ongoing and when it's a trigger event. Then you know you activate the card. So that's why it's an active card. For passive cards are cards that when you attach to your player and when the match begin, the card benefit or the card perks are already applied to that particular player or to the team. All right. Each move card comes in 5 charges. Every time you use it, for the active card, every time you activate it, it will use up 1 charge. And for the passive cards, once you attach it and the game start, it uses up 1 charge. So you know you can use it up to 5 times, and it becomes 0 charge. When it becomes a 0 charge, it doesn't mean that your NFT is, you know, you still hold on. You can still hold on to the NFT, but you will not be able to use it until you recharge it. Recharging the move cards, you know, we have few ideas of how we can possibly recharge the move cards. You know, we are thinking of possibly, you know, fusing a couple of move cards together to add up to a charge, or you know, using the in-game currency that Jeremy mentioned earlier to top up to recharge the card as well. So yeah, that's a little bit
I think we
about the
even
move
consider
cards.
time, right? Like a duration. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely that's also under consideration of whether yeah, but there are many different ways that we can go about recharging the move cards. But essentially the move cards are, you know, they will be used up 5 times, you know, and then after it's finished, you know, you gotta recharge it. Move cards are unlimited in supply. You know, there's no limit to number of move cards that there are. However, at this current stage before the game start, we are releasing our booster packs. So our booster packs are the now so far the only way to be able to get move cards from NFT11, and there's only a limited supply of, I think, 8,400 move booster packs that we are selling from now till the first season of NFT11. So that by itself, the booster pack is limited in supply. However, as I mentioned, move cards are unlimited in supply. Why do I say that? Is because the stadium, as I mentioned earlier, the stadium also helps to help managers to be able to mint out move cards. So that will continue the supply of move cards.
Sure, sure. Thank you. I
Can
think
I
that's pretty
just
much it.
can I just
Yeah.
add two more things about the move
Oh,
cards as
sure.
well? Yeah, so
Yep.
this is often a question that we get from the community also, because the gameplay does involve the move cards, and then they are wondering if will this be, you know, or do I have to own the cards? Will it become pay to win? You know, I will get an extra advantage. So we are balancing it very nicely such that the move cards do not cause this kind of pay to win situation. On top of that, the move cards are also nice looking. thanks to the brilliant artwork. And it's really about opening that opportunity as a collector's item for people who just like to buy NFTs and hold them because they love the artwork for whatever reasons they want to hold them, so they can become functional as a collector's tradable card kind of item. Yeah, I just want to add that.
For the extra information. Yeah, I think that's overall pretty much it for like the main questions and discussions between us. Would it be all right if we can jump to the community parts, getting all the questions from the community that they want to know personally?
Awesome. Yeah,
Um,
happy to take
sure.
questions.
Okay, yeah. So guys, if you have any questions, you can raise up your hands or also type down in the group chat. And I'll get those questions up to the team from NFT11 to ask about it. But for now, we've also got the main questions that we picked out the winners, the 5 main questions yesterday as well. So we'll jump on that first. Number 1 from uh W4MI being what could NFT11 team gain from virtual, and likewise what could virtual gain from NFT11? I think that's a question for both of us, but yeah, I'll go ahead and let you answer that first.
Yeah, so yesterday, very exciting. We were talking to Virtual as well, and this question did pop up. We are definitely looking forward to working with Virtual, especially integrating their football and earn aspect of their exercise and earn. So, if I'm not wrong, Virtual said that in a couple of months or down the line somewhere, there's going to be a football aspect integrated to it. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for NFT11 to come in. Virtual has, I mean, it's a sports game, so I think fundamentally there's multiple angles that we can work into this. Reward systems within the NFT11 metaverse could somehow integrate into Virtual's earning system as well, a reward system as well. Yeah, and I think that's how NFT11 and Virtual are going to work together in the future. And of course, as we think of more ideas, we will definitely be working on them.
Sure,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
mean, I think it'll be very interesting, for cross NFTs to, I mean, like for NFT11 stuff to be seen on virtual, because virtual has also has an avatar
Yep.
system, right? Where you can change the clothing, change the apparels, and for NFT11, we also pride ourselves as for our in-game assets to look really really nice and really really cool. So it'll be really interesting that if let's say we have our windbreaker, our NFT11 windbreaker that everybody loves, and imagine we can see that you can wear the NFT11 windbreaker on virtual's avatar. That would be very very interesting, and vice versa as well. Like whatever virtual assets that can be used in our in-game, it's quite dynamic in terms of that. It's going to be a metaverse in that sense, and I think it really ties in both projects in very nicely. NFT11 being a football game, and virtual being a exercise, or incentivizing people to move and earn, and play sports to earn or something like that. And then I was thinking of an idea like yesterday, toying with the idea, because we recently sponsored a youth team in the Philippines, a full kit of NFT gear, NFT11 gears for them to train in playing football or soccer, and we sponsored them because they were really enthusiastic and passionate about football and soccer. And I was thinking, if we for this partnership between Virtual, is it we could possibly see how maybe Virtual would be able to support this particular youth team that we sponsor as well. Maybe they can use Virtual's app, wear a smart device, and then when they play or when they train in NFT11 gear, is they also start to earn in that sense. So I think there's going to be a lot of things that we can talk about. If let's say even in the future we get in more and more star players from real life football or soccer, and then we get them to also use virtual app. No, I think it will be a very very nice synergy. Yeah, so I think partnerships between both of us, there's a lot to explore, given that NFT or Web3 itself is already a very new market. So I think between NFT11 and virtual, there's a lot to explore. Yeah.
Definitely. Yep. Thank you. Likewise, there are some updates and plans that we are having to collab more soon aside from this AMA and cross giveaway. So for all of our investors members, definitely you can look out and wait for that. We'll try to make it a big collab as possible. And also, um, jumping on the next questions, I think it's similar to that one from Miss Nokel. She asking NFT11 virtual are both in the sport kind of gamify kind of space. Um, will there be any special collaborations such as NFT11 football challenge in virtual app, or vice versa? Which I think is similar to the previous answer, but yeah, I think I can answer this myself as well. So right now we're just planning doing on the collab giveaway, and we are planning for the upcoming NFT avatar collab, just as you mentioned, Jeremy. We'll try to see how we can make it turn out, and maybe also in terms of the aspect from collabing our avatars, players, and maybe finding some ways of having the gameplay incorporated together.
Definitely looking forward to that, and I think there's so much that we can explore, because yeah, we are all very new in this space, and we are all just beginning to get the ball rolling, and there's so much more value and things that we can add to both our projects that are gonna yeah,
Yeah.
make us the industry leaders.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. Uh, Jumping to the third questions from NX Crypto, asking a couple of questions, but I'll try to sum it up into one. What is the main thing that makes NFT11 stand out from other typical gamifies? Yeah, that's pretty much it. And how do you plan to sustain it for long term?
Right. So I'll just answer a little bit first, and then Chance, maybe you can jump on and add on to that. I think our principles and our philosophies and the direction that the business takes is one of the key things that sets us apart. We no doubt we launched last year in August, right? It was we were planning it, all the way earlier before that, but the official launch was kind of in the hype of the GameFi market. And I think a lot of projects and GameFi projects that launched at that time, they were in it because it was, everyone's going crazy, everyone's investing in everything. There's a lot of profits to be taken from your cryptos, because crypto space was doing well. So a lot of the money funneled over into GameFi and things like that. And unfortunately, a lot of these projects, they were in it for a very short term period, and they didn't have the foresight to think of what exactly is this metaverse, what exactly are we building in the future. And so right from the get-go, I think that's where NFT11 gets it right. We are in this for the long haul. We are looking toward long-term sustainability. In terms of our tokenomics, play to earn is very interesting, but we immediately saw the problems with that, and we shift our philosophy towards play and earn. The central focus should be about the game, because that's what people love. People love the game. Game in GameFi, game comes first, right? The finance part comes later. and rewards should be given but not expected. So people
Yep.
playing the game should play the game because they love the game, and on top of that, you get to earn something on the side, and you get to own your own characters in the game. You get to own your own football team. It's yours. It follows you. It's on the blockchain. If I don't like you and I ban you from my game, I can't stop you from putting your assets out on the market.
Yep.
You own a huge portion of this game. So that's the I think our mindset and our philosophies and our beliefs are something
Yep.
that fundamentally sets us apart.
Yep. Thank
Yeah,
you for the closing answer.
just
Yeah.
to add on a little bit on what Jeremy mentioned. I think foresight is something that set us aside. We don't see ourselves as just a GameFi project or a blockchain game. The reason why we pick football as our main team is because our vision is to be able to reach out to the mainstream audiences. We are not just going to look at people who are interested in NFTs, or people who are interested in crypto, or people who are interested in flipping NFTs for a quick buck. We are looking to bring GameFi into the mainstream audiences, and football is the best possible spot to reach out to the mass, because I mean, football is the international language. Everybody loves soccer. Everybody loves football. No matter what language you speak. So I think having the vision of that really set us aside in terms of how we develop our game as well. As Jeremy had brought it up earlier, during the hype of GameFi, there were a lot of projects that came out just to create a click to earn game rather than a play to earn game, and they didn't really pay a lot of attention to the development of the game, of the quality of the game. But however, for NFT11, we are really knee deep into the development of the game to make it fun, and that comes with additional advantage, given that as we are more focused on developing, we get to see what is the current market doing. As Jeremy mentioned, this play to earn was a very interesting concept, but when we saw play to earn hitting its peak, we saw that there was some problems that came out. For example, the dual token mechanism. It causes a lot of selling pressure, and that's what we can also learn from and develop into NFT11 game as well. So yeah, I say that those factors, that what I just mentioned and Jeremy mentioned, really set us aside from other projects. Yeah.
Um, there's one question which I think we already answered, so I'll skip that for now. But there's one kind of funny, interesting question. When will you collab with superstar players like Ronaldo or Messi? I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
saw that.
definitely the long-term goal plan.
Do you have his number? The person who asked this question, yeah. Maybe we can give him a call, and
Yeah.
hopefully he doesn't charge us too high.
But yeah, I mean, anything could happen. So definitely, it would be one of the goals, I guess.
Definitely,
For sure,
definitely.
for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, we want
Um, yeah, but last but not least, questions from the community, from Masaki Koko is uh, how could it's a long questions about the gameplay itself, but basically, is this game only PvP or you can play it alone? How can he manage the football team and players, or how can he control? So basically, how will the gameplay be like? So will it be like using mouse only, or you can get a console and plug it in with the game, or what's the plan on that?
Okay, for our gameplay, it's gonna be progressive. The ultimate goal that we want to be able to achieve is that NFT level will be a mobile game. All right, so that you can manage your team on the go, and you can play on the go. And in terms of gameplay, looking at a more macro scale, right, what we want to achieve is that we want people to want to play the game, but yet we don't want them to have to be on their phone to always play the game. We want to kind of inculcate a healthy gaming habit among people, and that's why we are kind of doing a hybrid gameplay into NFT11, stimulation and interactive. The interactive part is not compulsory, although it does give the player or the manager an edge over the game. But you don't have to always be on your phone to play the game. So what we see or what we expect players to kind of manage their team or manage how they play the game is like, for important matches, then they will probably be on their phone to manage those important matches. But for those not so important matches, they can just let the AI run the game for them. Just do your prep work before the game start, do up your formation, make sure that your players are all in tip-top conditions, and then you put it out and let the AI control it. So this is how we kind of envision the gameplay to be like. You can either just sit down and do your own stuff and let the game play, or you can go to your phone and play the game. That's the vision that we have. But for now, the game is going to be on desktop. It's going to be a browser game. As of now, as I said, it's going to be a progressive work. As I think Jeremy mentioned earlier that we are not going to be releasing an Unreal 5 game right off the bat, but it's going to be progressive. So we are starting off with a WebGL. We are starting off with a browser game first to assess to start off something. Then we will slowly progress to a mobile app. Yeah, in terms of is it purely PvP or is there going to be a PvE element to it? We really want for it to be a full PvP experience. We just kind of want it to be like the real life football, where there are real people managing a club. So I don't there could be some PvE elements to it, like some mini games that you could play, earn small rewards or earn small rewards or whatnot. But the main thing that we want to look at is PvP ecosystem. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. B, can I answer Ronaldo?
Sure.
Ronaldo as a question.
Sure.
Ronaldo, so I hope you are the real Ronaldo, in disguise, actually inside the virtual community. Wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, Aura.
Which Ronaldo?
The Ronaldo CR7, the guy on the chat. Cristiano Ronaldo lah. Yeah, okay. So you were asking about the 5 auras. What is it and how is it different? I can't paste the link for the white paper here, but I just copy and pasted that from our white paper. So you can see that the different auras actually buff up the stats of or different stats of the player. So it pertains to a different kind of stat of the player. So that's pretty much how the elemental auras work for our legend players. You can also check out our recent social media, especially our Twitter. We were talking about the law surrounding these 5. No, man, I love you. That's why you're making me happy right now. That's why I'm laughing. Yeah, you can check out our recent social media posts, about all these 5 legends and the auras and the stories surrounding it. Yeah, that's some dive into our lore over there that you can check out. It's also on our white paper, so do check that out. Pertaining to your previous question about Shopee, so according to quite a number of news sources, nobody really knows for sure, but if you pay, if you want Ronaldo to endorse a product in a single just a single post, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, but just a single post is going to cost you $1.6 million. So in terms of him signing with NFT11 as an ultimate, maybe down the line, for sure. Maybe down the line. I laugh because I think the whole team will have to sell all their cryptocurrency, and then we can probably buy Cristiano Ronaldo. Anyway, thanks.
The question
so much
is, do we onboard Cristiano Ronaldo? If you want to onboard Cristiano Ronaldo, then our gameplay will be delayed.
Yeah, by about 10 years, maybe. Nah, I'm kidding. Thanks for the questions, Ronaldo. Yeah, that's a good question though.
Just to add on, just to add on the auras, right? Our auras are only applied to our legends player. So our normal players, do not have aura. So the limited supply for the 7,500 legends are the only ones that come with auras. So yeah, just to add on to that.
And also, when you stake, so Chance mentioned earlier that in order to get new normal players, you will stake legend players in our seed, and you will scout for new players. The new players that are scouted will have slightly better stats depending on which legend you stake in that seed. So if you stake a fire legend in that seed, then your normal player that gets churned out, that gets scouted, is now going to have slightly better finishing and long shot. So this gives the dynamicism of the scouting element to allow people to decide on what kind of players they want. So if you want a team that's full fire, finishing shot, long shot, maximum power, then you're gonna want to stake fire legends all the way and get all those normal players that have better finishing and long shots. So yeah, there's a strategy of how you want to scout as well in that incorporated into the game. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Chan. So I think we're coming to an end of our AMA. But thank you very much for today. Thank you for your time, and we hope that we in the upcoming days in the roadmap we can do something together out of this collaboration partnership and release something new features to all of our investors and members together. And just really make this become a huge success together. But yeah, thank you very much for today. And if you have any other thing or final messages that you would love to leave to our community here in Virtual, please feel free to do. And you can place also your links, social links, here in the chat.
I just
Yeah,
want
thanks.
to. Sorry, I'll go first, Chance. Then you can close us off. Yeah, so I just wanna thank everybody here for coming down for this AMA. We look forward to seeing you come by to our community. Ask all the questions you want. We're very open with our community. We listen to your suggestions.
Yeah, just to close off, really thanks everyone for joining us here. We are actually going to be hitting our 1 year anniversary for NFT11 in I think couple of months time. I think that's a quite a significant milestone for most GameFi or NFT projects. 1 year in the space is actually quite a long time. And we really come quite far since we started off. And it's gonna be more. There's gonna be more stuff going on, more partnerships, and especially with virtual. Can't wait to see what kind of interesting things that we can do together. Not sure what is it gonna be, but I'm sure it's gonna be interesting. And yeah, follow on our social. Check out our Medium. We are very open with our community. We are always releasing weekly newsletters. So sign on to our Medium if you really want to keep up with our progress. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Chance. Thank you for your time today, and thank you everyone that came to listen in. This AMA is recorded, so we'll paste it right here again for anyone that missed out or wanna go back and listen to it again. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for the amazing AMA.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
everyone. Thank you for hosting.